Okay, let's do a quick video on stencils and how they can be applied. We've done the colors in the previous video, and I just wanted to do a quick video on how we can apply stencils to our cleats. Now, when we're looking at something like this in the shading section, we can move over to the texture paint tab. And as we discussed before, this section here is usually reserved for like the Nike letters. But let's say we just wanted to add something in there to look a little different. What we can do is, let's get rid of that. We can go down to the checkered flag at the bottom, the texture properties, excuse me, and then click open. And then we can go and find a texture that we're going to want to use. So bear with me while I just find a random one. Okay. So let's say we've got this Gotham logo. Okay. If we then move back up to the tool icon, let's make this a little larger here. And then we go down to texture. You can see that it's been imported there. And instead of view plane, what you want to do is change that to stencil. And then you've got your stencil that you can move around there. And I also like to click image aspect. So essentially it fits the aspect ratio of what your image should be. Otherwise it will look slightly skewed. So make sure you click that as well. When we zoom in, obviously we can apply it anywhere we like, but it's also worth taking note of how this gets applied in the 2D image texture file that we have there as well. So if we just place it wherever we want, we can hold down Shift and the right click and make it as big small as we want. If we hit Control and click, we can rotate it as well. And you can see the angle changes. So if you make a mistake, you can always go back to 0. Or for example, if you change it to 180, you can have it upside down, so on and so forth. When you're ready to apply it, so let's say we just wanted it right in the middle there, using the left click on your mouse, all you would have to do is run it over the stencil, and then you will have your color. Now you can have it black as assigned here, or you can move this up so it's white, and then you can apply that there. Or if you were so inclined, you can also click into this color and you've then got the full wheel arch, or you can also use a hex code. So for any specific colors, I would advise using some kind of chat GPT or otherwise to find out the specific colors you are after if you're looking for team color specific. And then, beg my pardon, you can then change the color like that. And then when you do a 3D view of it, you can see how it's applied. In the 2D texture file, you can also see that they look a little warped. This is essentially the difference of trying to stencil on a texture file onto a 3D model. If we were just to take this Gotham logo and put them straight into the into Photoshop and then apply it, it would look slightly different. And I'll quickly show you what I mean by that. So in the background, all I'm doing is applying this stencil to the 2D texture file in Photoshop, saving it. And then when I open it up back in Blender, if we were to go back to our shading tab, okay, so we've got the 3 logos there. If we get rid of this and then just open up the one that I made in Photoshop just now, you can see that even though we've added it in, and it was absolutely flat in Photoshop, because we can see it just here, that it's absolutely flat. It doesn't portray that on the 3D model. So it's always better, in my opinion, to use the stencil tool as opposed to trying to apply it to a 2D texture file there. And you can see the difference. In the next video, we will be looking at changing some of the other parameters when we import the files back into Frosty, and what that will mean.